Welcome, dear friends, to Tales of Gen X Terror, where we unpack the apocalyptic dread underneath the skin of late Cold War pop culture. My name is Neil, and I'm changing my major to Joan. I've been taking in a lot of heavy media lately, so I thought I'd go back and look at something whimsical. A few episodes back, we met a character who I think fits the bill perfectly. Back in episode 12, we met Gardner Grail, who was getting retconned in DC Comics Presents. While I was researching that episode, I went ahead and picked up this collection. So this week, let us take a look at the first adventure of the Atomic Knights.
The Atomic Knights! Gardner Grail, leader of the Atomic Knights. Brendan, one of Earth's last scientists. Douglas Harold, schoolteacher. Maureen, Harold's sister. Wayne and Hollis Hobart, brothers, ex-soldiers, and loyal Atomic Knights!
The Atomic Knights were created by writer John Broome and artist Murphy Anderson. This is the first story of the Atomic Knights from Strange Adventures 117 in 1960. Let us see that sweet, sweet splash page. And here we come up on a group of knights with a battering ram.
Knights in armor attacking us! Our radiation blasts can't stop them! Forward, Atomic Knights, for victory and justice! World War III. The atomic war is over, and in its wake lies an Earth in ruins. Of plant life there is none. Of animal life only a small number of humans lingers on. There is no government, and the prevailing law is might makes right. In this critical time of Earth's history arises an organization determined to represent law and order and the forces of justice, to help right wrong and prevent evil. The proud name this group chooses for itself is the Atomic Knights. They make their exciting debut in The Rise of the Atomic Knights.
And that there is our darling splash page. It's not where the adventure begins, so let's go there right now. We open up on a mysterious figure.
One human flees. To where? From whom? He does not know. That mob, they've been chasing me since the sun rose. Who are they? What do they want with me?
He evades the mob and comes up on a whole nother mystery.
As detached images and thoughts flood into the human's mind with numbing effect. The war, the terrible atomic war that destroyed everything. But how long ago was that? A newspaper. It must have the date on it. October 29th, 1986. October 29th? Then the war only lasted 20 days. Yes, I'm beginning to remember more now. My own name. Gardner Grail, and if I remember correctly, I should have something here in my back pocket, yes. As Gardner Grail stares at a wrinkled clipping. It's the only time I ever got any publicity. When I went into the army, they discovered that mentally and physically I was exactly average. Could it be the mob was out to attack me for this? The food I'm carrying? Could human beings sink so low? Become so much like animals?
Somewhere between these two panels, Gardner Grail has figured out how to shave himself, possibly with the tin can lid. It's not really explained how he freshens himself, but it's pretty cool.
I must find someone to talk to. There's so much I don't remember, so many questions to ask.
Gardner has a flashback.
The announcer's voice came in weak. We were huddled there.
War is in its 11th day. Incredible results. The Super H explosions have not only devastated everything, they have changed the shape of continents. The Earth is no longer the same. We don't know how much longer we can continue to give reports from the surface. Nothing is left intact up here. Our instruments...
What's happening? We weren't cut off for long. 4 minutes later, the bunker trembled as a bomb exploded above it. This is it! We're hit!
Gardner comes back to the present day, and that's when he sees another man getting attacked.
The mob that was after me, there they are again, attacking someone else. Heedless of his own danger, the ex-soldier leaps to the fray. Whoever you are, I'm on your side. Thanks. Gardner Grail's my name, ex-soldier. Douglas Harold, schoolteacher. As the effective resistance forces the battered band to break off. Looks like they've had enough. What were they after, Douglas? Money? No, money is worthless now. It can't buy anything. They were after this food can. I found it here. This museum used to be our town supply cache until it was raided and cleaned out by the Black Baron's men. The Black Baron? We call him that. No one knows his real name, but he runs this town with an iron hand. If you want to eat, You have to lick his boots.
Douglas Harold fills Gardner in on some of the things he might have missed in the last 20 days.
The Atomic War, World War III, was so awful many people suffered loss of memory. It happened to the average soldier. That's me. But since you had amnesia, you may not realize how the Earth has changed. The war killed all plants and animals. Food can't be grown anymore. The only remaining food is the huge stocks that had been stored here and there prior to the war.
Douglas then fills in Gardner on how the Black Baron is set for weapons.
Because we have no weapons and he has ray guns, radiation blasters, there were only a few left after the war, and he has them. We wouldn't have a chance. Look out! As Gardner Grail, following his new friend's lead, dives for cover behind some suits of armor. Our grenade, we're done for. Nothing can protect us against the deadly rays of an AR grenade, especially so close. But, a moment later, instinct guides the ex-soldier's actions as he finds himself still alive. Don't move, Douglas. Play dead. It's incredible. I don't know how we could still be alive. And shortly after the attackers have disappeared, it was that gang of food thieves out for revenge. They thought they finished us. Your quick thinking saved our lives, Gardner. As Gardner Grail peers at the suits of old armor in the ruined museum, Douglas, I'm no scientist and I don't know how to explain it, but what saved us must have been in the metal in these ancient suits of armor. They stopped, neutralized the deadly rays. We were right behind the armor when the grenade blasted off. Yes, it could be that through the centuries this metal has hardened into a peculiar molecular structure, capable of acting as a shield against nuclear radiation. Do you realize what this means? If the armor protects against our grenades, it will protect against ray guns too. And that means we now have a way of fighting the Black Baron. By soul, you're right. Gardner, we do.
And I love that apparently within 20 days of nuclear war starting, we're all of a sudden sun worshippers.
The Atomic Knights, Part 2. Soon in the central square of the town, as people hearing the amazing news gather swiftly. You're going to fight the Baron? You're mad! He has 12 men, each armed with a ray gun. These armor suits will protect us from his weapons. Now, we have 6 suits. Who will volunteer to join Douglas and myself? 2 stalwart lads elbow their way forward. My brother and I will. We're all that's left of our family. Hunger took the others on account of the Baron. Hollis and Wayne Hobart. I'll vouch for these 2, Gardner. Their farm was next to my house. Good. Who else? As a keen-eyed man responds, who are you? Brendan's my name, and scientist is my profession. Scientist? Destroy him! It was the scientists who made the bombs that ruined our world. Wait! Back, you fools. If you kill him, will that remake your world? And if he wants to help overthrow the Baron, maybe his science can help us. Maybe she's right.
And thus, Brendan gets a chance to show how his science can be helpful.
Under the watchful eyes of the people, the man of science reveals a homemade gadget. Watch as I pass this over the ground. Now, dig in this spot right here. What's he up to? As shovels bite into the ground at the indicated place. A food can! My gadget is a food pack detector. I made it in the last few days. With it, many will be fed in town. That settles it, Brendan. You're with us. By the way, Gardner, let me introduce my sister, Maureen. Hello, Gardner. With an effort, the ex-soldier tears his eyes from the beautiful girl. All right, we'll do with 5. The 6th suit is too small for a grown man anyway. Now let's put them on. We've got a job to do. As the armored band gets underway. What if the armor doesn't protect us, Hollis? Don't fear, Wayne. Trust our leader, Gardner Grail. We can use that tree.
And soon, they are at the fortress of the Black Baron.
What kind of trick is this? You men, whoever you are, don't come a step further. It's the Black Baron. With ray guns fixed on him, Gardner Grail steps forward boldly. Hear me, Baron. The people of this town are starving, and you have huge stocks of food in this castle of yours. Open your stores, distribute the food packs, and we won't raise a hand against you. And if we don't, we'll break in there and distribute the food ourselves. Ha! You tin-plated scarecrows might frighten sparrows, but you don't impress me. Get on, march off, or I'll have you blasted on the spot. Here's where we use that tree. As the knights move, and simultaneously the weapons of the castle's defenders are brought into play. It can't be! They're not hurt at all! Walking through ray gun fire? Then the battering ram thrusts at the gates. 1, 2, 3, crash!
Of course, now they have suddenly broken into the Black Baron's castle. There's a chase that ensues, and this is the face-off between Gardner Grail and the Black Baron, the man we only know as the Black Baron.
As the man in armor continues to move forward, the rifle is fired. Ducked, just in time. The metal of our armor may stop deadly rays, but will it stop high-power bullets? Pow! More carefully, the Baron takes aim again. This heavy armor can't reach him in time. Let's see you dodge this one. But just before the trigger is pulled, one of the knights leaped in, spoiled his aim. As Gardner quickly grabs the rifle from his foe, thanks. Who was that anyway?
That is a mystery for another panel, but suffice it to say that the Atomic Knights win the day, and thus the Amazon storehouses are open up to the general populace.
And when the food is distributed to the townspeople, there's enough here for everyone. Bless you! That Baron had a mountain of food cached away. We've cached him away where he won't do any more harm. Douglas, you're in charge of food supplies from now on. I'll see that each gets a fair and equal share, Gardner.
For the 1960s, this is pretty socialist. Just saying.
Then the Knight Leader realizes something. Fellas, wait a second. 5 of us got into these suits of armor, but now I count 6. By Luna, Gardner, you're right.
So we worship the sun and the moon at this point, Sol and Luna. I've got a lot of mysteries to unpack here.
As the visor is raised on the 6th Knight. Marine, then it was you who... Will you forgive me, Gardner? I couldn't resist. The small suit of armor fitted me, and so I wanted to help in the fight. Forgive you? I'll do better than that. Smoochy sounds. Someday I'd like to try that without the armor. Later, as the group holds council. And now that we've taken care of the Black Baron and freed this town, we must not relax our vigilance. I propose we form a band and call ourselves the Atomic Knights. Hear, hear! The atomic war left confusion everywhere. We can use this ray-gun-proof armor to help right wrongs and undo evil, like the knights of old. I agree, Douglas. Humanity needs an organization like ours. There aren't any more police. There isn't any government so far as we know. There is no authority except evil power like the Black Baron wielded. Someone has to represent law and order and the forces of justice in these terrible times, and it looks like the job is ours. We have to be ready to help people. May I say something, Grail? It's time we heard from our scientist member. What is it, Brendan? I've been testing the metal of our suits. They shield against ray gun fire, but only for a limited time. After that time, the rays get through, so we're not invulnerable. That's just one more danger we have to face, but the world needs us. We 6 can't think of ourselves anymore. A strange feeling has come over me. Have I fallen in love with Gardner Grail?
The end. And that was our look at the first adventure of the Atomic Knights, a post-apocalyptic adventure from the 1960s full of whimsy and silly. And maybe I just needed a little whimsy and silly this week, so, put up with it. If you've got other pieces of pop culture media that I should be checking out in this series, there's a comment space either on your phone or on your laptop or whatever device you are using to watch me. You can use that. And liking and commenting and subscribing and sharing and all of that stuff, that's another way you can thank me. Not that I need thanks, but I like, when people see the stuff I do. Thank you again for joining us on Tales of Gen X Terror, and we will see you when the other shoe drops.